ready to jump in?
Yeah.
I still want you. I wish you just started like, all right, first lesson.
Don't be a little
Don't be a little bit. Can I keep that in? Can that be the start of the show? Can that be the actual start right here?
I mean, if that's how you feel, if you feel like your people are gonna be all right with it.
Listen, I think they'll be like, hey, I like this Tyler guy. I'm really getting to know him.
All right.
They're really getting to see the real you.
Okay.
Well, it's time for another 15-Minute Friday. This is the What You Don't Hear podcast. Ross here as always. You know the voice at this point. You're probably tired of hearing of it, but you're in luck if you are tired of hearing my voice, because I have another wonderful voice joining me for this 15-Minute Friday. My friend Tyler Phillips back on the show. You heard him at the start. You heard his motto for this episode, maybe. Or maybe we'll build around that. Maybe I got to edit that out. Maybe I'll just put a bleep over it at the start so they're like, what did he say?
There's so many things you could actually put in that. Don't be a little what?
I'm gonna edit something in from like a movie, just some sort of quote, and just put it right in there. Just don't be and that's it.
Ooh, what if we like leave it up to the listener to decide what not to be?
You're feeding into this.
Bleep it out and let them figure it out. And how about you just don't be it?
Yeah, that's the challenge. That's the biggest tip at the end of this 15-Minute Friday is you figure out what Tyler said at the beginning. You figure out what you want to be less of.
You know what? I like this.
That is the ultimate takeaway. Man, that worked out great. I don't even know if we need to do the rest of the 15 minutes.
We're done. You know what?
That's pretty much it. Tyler, thanks for listening, guys. Yeah. So, okay. Let's do the real thing, although I do love the entire episode being built around them deciding for themselves. But we're still going to talk on a subject, and this one I am very excited to hear what you have to say, because this is one you actually brought to me when we were talking about subjects that we could talk about for the 15-Minute Fridays. And this one is the importance of being intentional. Yes. And I think this is a thing that I have at one point in time maybe unintentionally was doing. As strange as that might sound. Like I was doing things with purpose and intention, but I didn't realize that I was. And I think in the last couple of years that I really uncover the, I'll say, true strength of being intentional. So our 15 minutes has started. The clock is counting down. So I'm going to toss it over to you. Tell the people how they can be intentional.
Yeah, I just have this belief that when we move, purpose is needed. I think aimlessness should never be the same as like wanderlust. Like you're allowed to have the like exploring time in your life, but there does need to be like a purpose to it. Like where are you going? Why are you going? I think when you are aimless, you don't tend to soak in things. You're just kind of like letting it happen to you. But with wanderlust and like exploration, there's still a reason for it, and that allows you to absorb like the things that are important in your journey. It allows you to internalize what you're experiencing. I think aimlessness is like coasting, and coasting is never good. I tell a lot of my like clients and friends, like, you've made a decision that brought you here to me, correct? Like that in itself is intention. Let's keep moving with that as we go forward, and let's grow together. So that's like the starting place, if that makes any sense.
Yes. So what would you say, like, what would your explanation of, like, maybe your personal definition of what it means to be intentional and lead with intentionality?
Yeah. And intentional for me is I know what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. Now, that definitely took some time to get there, but I think I moved with intention unknowingly to get to that point, to like know that this is how I want to move. I like tell people when I'm like, let's say if I'm navigating a project for a friend, okay? I know the end goal is to give them the deliverable at the end of it, right? I can't just be like, well, I guess I'll hit up my one friend and maybe they'll bring their talents and we'll figure this out together. If we did that, we could probably come together, have a think tank section. I can't talk. My words aren't working today. A think tank, like actual thing.
We can bleep that out too.
Perfect.
What did he say there?
Right.
Also?
But at the same time, if we're just like figuring it out on the fly and for something that's like supposed to be on point, we may not be there. But if I can say, okay, I've got direction. I know exactly how to execute it. If I don't know how to execute this part of it, I can bring in player A who does know how to execute that part of it. I give them the direction and the vision. boom, we're moving forward with intention. It's one foot in front of the other, but you know that you put it there. It's not you just kind of like tiptoeing. You're moving forward.
Do you think when people maybe are trying to move with purpose or intention, do you think that a lot of people get caught up on the end goal being like this perfect thing, and they forget that like sometimes you got to lead with intention and start small?
Yeah. I think it's that whole thing I talked about earlier about absorbing things during the journey, because there's a difference between thinking on your feet because you have to and thinking on your feet because you like want to. You could be in, like, say for you, you've got your plan for a shot, right? For a scene. While you're doing it, you see something else and you're like, wow, let's actually go with that. It's not being like, dude, I don't know how we're going to do this. Let's just get the cameras rolling. You got the script. I'll figure it out. It's a completely different thing. So like, I think allowing yourself to be surprised during the journey and learn something new allows you to still move with intention, but it can still deviate from the original thing. As long as you're still moving towards your end goal, that's fine. But take that time to like explore in between.
What is it that you think allows people to become a little, we'll just use the same verbiage here, like what do you think allows people to become so aimless so easily maybe?
So I think it's honestly people losing themselves. And I want to go on record and say, like, most of us are going to have a moment where we do lose ourselves or lose our way. It could be within a career, it could be within a life relationship. I think that a part of life is having to look at yourself and say, where am I, who am I, and where am I going? So I don't want anyone to be like, damn, I'm feeling pretty aimless now. Am I a piece of shit? I'm like, no, this is just part of your journey. Internalize. As long as you've like had that moment, like, oh wow, I am lost. That's better than you being lost and not knowing it. So I think within that, you being able to figure out that there needs to be some sort of like fulcrum to like take this to a different direction is okay. That makes sense.
And I think some of that feeds into the idea of like being okay with the idea that, you know, not getting caught up on that perfect end goal, not getting caught up on the, you know, you can take a day off, you can take a day for yourself, because when you get so caught up in like, and I think that I've done this, which is why I'm explaining this, is like in the past I've gotten so caught up on always like trying to be so intentional with everything that if anything feels like it slips out of that a little bit, then I feel like I'm like, oh my God, I'm so lazy. I wasted my time. I fell off track. Like, how does this feed into my goal of doing this? Or how does this feed into my, so I feel like maybe you can be over intentional sometimes too. Yeah. And there's like a balance to it.
I think you'll find most things in life, there has to be balance. You can always overdo a good thing. You can eat too much. You can work out too much. You can run too far and hurt yourself. I think almost being too intentional, and that's like, what I mean by that is like zeroing in so much that you lose focus of the outside of it. That can also be just as damaging as being aimless. Because like it could be to the point where like you're so zeroed in on this concept or whatever that you don't realize that the people you're working with have contributed wonderful ideas, and you're just like, well, this is happening. We're just gonna do it my way, highway. That's where that zeroing in happens. I think that's not healthy, but.
So if I was somebody sitting here and maybe I'm listening to this 15-minute Friday and I'm feeling a little bit aimless, right? And I'm like, okay, I know what my goals are. I know what I want to do to get there, but I don't exactly know how to execute that. I don't know how to actually take the action on that. So what if somebody's like sitting here and they're just like, man, like I get the idea of being intentional, but like when it comes to like, you know, my project management, or when it comes to just like my just solution and problem solving, like I just feel so lost. So I don't even maybe know how to find what my intention is.
Yeah. You know what the biggest thing that I have learned to help like cure that aimlessness, and it's honestly very simple. Ask for help. Asking for help means that you've internalized that you are lost or that you are aimless. Someone else out there may know the way. It's like if say you're driving to, let's say, Tennessee, and you take a wrong turn, and you just, for some reason, your GPS isn't working, your map is lost, you can't figure it out, but you know you're lost. How do you make that change? You ask for help. Someone out there is on the right path, you know? Someone can help you get back. Someone can help you realign. Someone can help you rediscover who you are, what you want. Ask for help.
And I feel like that's still being intentional.
Yeah, that is in itself, like it is intentional. Like you saw that and you're like, I need to fix this.
Yeah. And man, I don't think I'm good at that. I don't think I'm very good at asking for help.
But but don't feel bad about that. A lot of us aren't, because there's a moment of, number one, you have to recognize that you've either quote unquote messed up, or you're quote unquote not. I don't want to say not good enough, because that's not the road I want to go down. You don't have the wherewithal or supplies to make it happen. You just need you need a bump. You need a bump. You need a helping hand. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have ego, that could keep you away from it. If you have pride, that could keep you away from it. And all of us have a sense of pride. It's just how much of it do we have? So if you've got too much that keeps you from asking, that could be an issue. Or if it's just like you don't want to ask because you don't want, it's like someone like take over your vision. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you've got enough like self-confidence to know that like that's not going to happen, like you know what you want to be, you just need some help, you'll be fine once you get the help. Like you'll be like, I can still keep this moving in the direction I want. I just need that push.
I am so glad that you just brought up the confidence thing, because that was going to be the next thing I was going to ask. Is like, how much of a key do you think confidence is in this whole role of finding your intention?
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone goes on a journey to find confidence, but it's an integral part of being able to move with intention. It's like how, especially when you move into the unknown, because there's going to be times where you don't know. You have to be able to have enough inward confidence to be like, I'm making the right choice, even if I don't see it, to move forward and do it. I don't think that you can just, like, to ask you this question, like, why would you move forward in the first place? You want to. Why do you want to? You've got to have a little bit of confidence to be like, well, I can see the potential. There's that inward confidence.
Yes.
I don't think you just move forward just to move. You know what I mean? That's
right. Right.
Just jumping in the walls and stuff.
What are your thoughts on somebody who can't feel like they find that confidence? Like, no matter how many things they try, whether it succeeds or not, there's always going to be those people who are just like, man, like they just can't gain that confidence to even start being intentional with things.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak from personal experience. I mean, I think people see me as very confident, and that's something that I struggle with personally. For me, it's worthy knowing that I think it's worth it to keep moving, no matter how hard it may seem or how uncomfortable I may be. If I have this goal and it's something that inspires me, it's got to be worth moving forward. So it is a kind of like just telling yourself to do it. And again, if you can't, then asking someone to help you. Like, hey, you have to be transparent. I have this dream. I want to do this. I need help doing that. Do you know who can help me? Can you help me? That's why I said that at the beginning of this, like the biggest thing is honestly asking for help. If you think about like people that go to like therapy or something, that in itself is you wanting to move forward with your life.
Yes. And I think
you got to ask for help.
That's a huge thing to identify, is like, it doesn't always have to be you being the complete solution to your whatever the problem is, business, personal life, anything. Like, yes, realistically, you're the core of whatever tries to solve your problem. If you are reaching out for help, if you are talking to people, you're making that decision to do so.
Yep.
But remembering that, you might not have all the answers to all of your problems.
Exactly.
So, as we start to wrap up, last thing I want from you,
okay,
is we've said the word intentional and intention about 1,000 times, but that's what happens when it's the topic of the show. And we've talked about finding confidence and gaining confidence and how all those things play together in decision making to figure out what it is that you're being intentional about, whether it's a goal, a dream, a conversation, anything high to low. Right now, I want you to pretend like you are a doctor. Okay. You're a doctor.
Okay.
Of, let's say, just life, right?
Okay.
We're not
Doctor
talking about
life. Okay.
Doctor life. We're not talking about something specific of like, oh, you're going to diagnose whatever, somebody's sick. You just get to diagnose somebody for not leading with intention, right? So when you find somebody, you're talking to this patient and they're like, I just don't know. I feel like I'm just so aimless. I just don't know this whole confidence thing. Like, I get it. I listened to that podcast where you guys said a bunch of cool one-liners about believing in yourself. Okay, I understand. But man, it just doesn't seem to be working. I need some more actionable steps of how I can really draw myself in. What are things that I can try and identify within myself to take the steps towards being intentional? So, Dr. Tyler,
oh God,
what are you going to prescribe your patient? And I want you to pretend like you're prescribing them something to do for like an entire month. 30 days straight. This is these are the steps, the incremental steps that you were going to take, that by the end of the 30 days, Well, I guess you can't guarantee, but I promise
I'll have a hell of a disclaimer.
Yes, big disclaimer here.
Yeah, this may take longer than the 30 days.
But let's just say at the end of that 30 days, you're going to find some growth in how you're being intentional. What are you going to prescribe them? What are the steps?
3 things. Okay, so most people do know what they like, right? Something that they like. Pick one of those things and do it for a week straight. Just like if it's pleasure, like reading a book, or something challenging, like I want to learn how to build bookcases. I'm pulling that out of my ass. Pick something this week and do it for a week. Just do it. Just to show, because what it does is, number one, it proves that you can do what you want to do. Number 2, I would say reach out to someone and just like tell them a dream or a plan you want. Find someone to keep you accountable, and keep that person alongside with you. And this person, honestly, let's have them to be with you for the entire month. And then the third, I'm going to steal something from my friend, Jesse Kale. Like, his biggest thing is do it for you. Like, don't do it for anyone else. Like, at the end of the day, like, you're the one that's feeling lost or aimless. You can change this. So let's do all these things for yourself. Like, when you go to sleep at night, you don't have anyone else's, like, worries or concerns on your head. It's usually just you and your thoughts and concerns. Let's make those thoughts and concerns go away. Let's do these things for yourself.
Love it. That is our time. Once again, on the dot. Just hit it. All right, hey, listen, you're my doctor now.
Oh, well.
Dr. Tyler over here.
Whew, I might have used up all the good stuff, especially that, like, the first thing I said. You can't be a little, let's not do that. So
hey, I think it was great. Listen, we tossed the disclaimer out there.
We did.
Okay.
We did.
And at the end of it, if somebody didn't gain something from this, listen, you just gave them all those awesome, actionable tips. But at the beginning, it's that real thinker. Yeah. They think about what is it that I don't want to be? What am I not trying to be? What did Dr. Tyler tell me?
Don't be a little okay? Move with intention.
That's the second.
Don't be.
That's the second bleep. I'm losing all the sponsors here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, damn it.
He made me do it, guys.
Listen, now, do I have to bleep that second one, or can I just bleep the first one?
You should.
Because then it's kind of what if it spoils it? What if they listen all the way through and they're like, I'm learning so much. But then if they know what you said in that bleep, the mystery is gone, and they're like, I don't know.
Let's keep it a mystery.
Keep it a mystery.
Keep it a mystery.
I'll bleep both of them.
There you go.
You got it. All right. What we're not going to censor is keeping these conversations going. So if you liked anything that you heard in this episode, or you want to share it, keep the conversations going with anybody else within your network, please share this around. It's as easy as screenshotting this, tossing it in your IG story, tossing out a couple sentences of what you liked, or maybe what you didn't like, or what you did learn from this episode. You can do that by tagging the show at WYDHpod. Follow it if you haven't. You can tag and follow me at Who's Ross Tyson. Tyson is spelled T-H-E-I-S-E-N. And Tyler, where can they find you? Maybe they want to get prescribed more things.
I was going to say, I have a feeling people are going to be like, you're a fake.
I just spent 30 days doing this thing.
Right? Come through. Okay, well, if you have these concerns, you may find me at Ty Phillips 7 on Instagram, Chai Tea Addict, like the drink, so Chai Tea Addict on Twitter, and then LinkedIn, Facebook, my name, Tyler Phillips with 2 L's.
Beautiful. Dude, I cannot say how much I appreciate you doing these with me. Awesome. It's so much fun. Did you have fun?
I did.
Is this fun for you?
I had a good time.
Beautiful. I love it. I want if we do any more of these, I want more bleeps. I want more bleeps from Tyler.
All right. Let's see. I will see how uncensored I can be.
Let's see how many more sponsors I can lose. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, I have so many.
I mean, it's all about presentation, though, because we could really turn it around. We're like, that's what they want. They're like, we're the bleeps, guys.
The guys, we need more. But come on, get that Tyler guy back on here. We need to tell people
what's up. Have him say
up.
his mind.
All right, there it was. Another 15-minute Friday in the books.